Can you still hear the gentle crackle of a needle meeting the groove, or picture the rows of glistening 45s calling out behind the counter? There's a magic to vinyl record stores of the 1950s that time just can't erase. Stepping inside, you were greeted by the sweet, mingling scents of cardboard sleeves and polished linoleum, the air buzzing with anticipation as teenagers and parents alike searched for the soundtrack to their Saturday nights. These shops were more than retail. They were vibrant community hubs, places where friendships formed over stacks of Elvis and Chuck Berry, and where the excitement of unwrapping a brand new record could make your heart race. Do you remember that thrill of picking out your very first LP, or that moment when a clerk behind the counter slipped your favorite tune onto the turntable? With jukebox hits spinning overhead and the latest hits posted on handwritten charts by the door, the record store was a world of possibility. What stories and melodies would echo through your home as you carried that new album out into the day? In these aisles, music wasn't just sold, it was shared, celebrated and cherished, waiting to shape your memories even now. Step back in time to the post-war streets of 1950s America, when optimism hummed through every avenue, and the pulse of this new era played out in the rhythms drifting through vinyl record store doors. In a landscape transformed by surging prosperity, young and old alike found themselves at the edge of a musical revolution. Vinyl was quickly overtaking shellac, and record store suddenly signified something novel and exhilarating. These were the places where small miracles happened, where you heard a song so fresh it felt like it belonged only to you, or where your friends gathered to debate which artist would top the charts next. Before the 1950s, music consumption was different. Radio ruled, and shellac 78 RPM records were bulky, brittle, and held just a song per side. But a technological marvel was on the horizon. In 1948, Columbia Records introduced the 12-inch, long-playing LP vinyl, offering about 22 minutes per side, a true sonic horizon. And then in 1949, RCA Victor launched the 7-inch, 45 RPM single, compact, durable, and perfect for an era on the move. The 1950s record store grew in the shadow of this seismic shift. Suddenly, vinyl shops popped up on main streets and downtown corners, from bustling cities to the quietest suburbs. Suddenly, there was a sense of ritual in the Saturday morning record run, something that would shape the rhythm of American life. But there's more to this story than just new technology. The boom in vinyl stores mirrored the cultural and economic currents of the time. A swelling middle class, flush with disposable income for the first time, began seeking little luxuries, and what could be more enchanting than music you could hold in your hands? Retailers, sensing this shift, scrambled to satisfy the new demand, making records and affordable phonographs centerpieces of department stores and brand new standalone record shops. Many of these shops were family-owned, some run by local music lovers whose passion was as important as their inventory. Some stores even doubled as general stores or appliance shops, gradually clearing space for racks of LPs and singles as the craze soared. Here's a fascinating twist. Record shops in minority neighborhoods, especially in big cities, became crucial to the spread of genres like R&B, doo-wop, and early rock and roll. Savvy shop owners, often fans first, business people second, helped launch careers by recommending new artists to enthusiastic teens. Did you know that the legendary Chess Records started selling records right out of their Chicago office before they ever became a household name? Or that, in New York's Harlem, hotspots like Record Shack didn't just supply records but served as unofficial headquarters for aspiring musicians, DJs, and music fans. The vinyl shop, above all, was a crossroads where backgrounds blended, stories circulated, and fresh sounds flowed across invisible borders. What else set these stores apart? Step through the door in the early 50s and you'd enter a world where the sensory experience was everything. Unlike the impersonal aisles of modern big-box stores, the compact, often cluttered shops fostered intimacy. Shelves overflowed with album art both gaudy and elegant. The anticipation as you thumbed through bins, sometimes the latest hits, sometimes oddities tucked in the back, felt like a treasure hunt. And let's not forget the listening booths, those cozy glass-paneled cubicles where you could slip on headphones, close your eyes, and disappear into sound. Many who grew up in those years fondly recall the feeling of stepping into a booth with a record, maybe chosen on a friend's recommendation, maybe just because the cover caught your eye, and emerging just a few minutes later as a lifelong fan. What music memory would you relive if you could spend a moment in one of those booths again? Of course, behind every store's success was a rapidly changing industry. Major labels like Columbia, RCA Victor, and Decca started fiercely competing. Their promotional reps hit the road, visiting indie stores across the nation with armfuls of fresh singles. Stores used window displays to show off new releases with eye-popping posters and clever arrangements, sometimes spinning the latest hit on a turntable placed right in the front window. Try "Before you buy" wasn't just a slogan, it was a promise. But here's a little-known fact. Some small-town stores chose their stock based entirely on requests from regulars rather than industry tip sheets. Have you ever wondered what influence your simple request might have had on the musical taste of an entire neighborhood? Another subtle yet vital dynamic was the role of jukebox culture. Jukeboxes, stocked by local record shops, were a staple in diners, soda fountains, and bowling alleys. Shop owners got early reads on what kids wanted to hear, sometimes making or breaking local hits based on what records zoomed off the shelves straight into those chrome machines. And speaking of firsts, some stores even held record preview parties, where neighbors could gather to sample new releases after hours, a forerunner to the listening parties many enjoy today. So, as America danced its way into the second half of the 20th century, vinyl record stores were much more than retail. They stood at the intersection of commerce, community, and culture. People flocked to them not just for the music, but for the stories, debates, and discoveries waiting inside. Some even offered music lessons in the back or gave away free records with the purchase of a turntable, turning each transaction into the start of a new musical journey. If you close your eyes, can you recall that eager feeling as you entered your favorite shop with a few crumpled dollars in your pocket and a world of possibilities on the shelves? These stores captured the heartbeat of a decade, a time when music was physical, personal, and the very definition of cool. But that is only the beginning, because the true magic of the 50s vinyl record store lay not just in its history, but in how swiftly it evolved. Embracing new sounds, technologies, and communities. What innovations and unexpected changes would reshape these beloved shops in the years just around the corner? The story only gets richer from here. As we wind down our journey through the vibrant, rhythm-filled world of 1950s vinyl record stores, it's clear that these spaces were so much more than places to buy music. They were the lifeblood of a generation in motion, where every rack and display pulsed with possibility. We've revisited that thrilling era when newly pressed LPs and 45s redefined how America listened, transforming music from a fleeting sound on the radio to something you could take home, cherish, pass around, and play until the grooves wore smooth. These stores were bustling crossroads for friends and strangers alike, the young teen saving up allowance for the latest doo-wop hit, the discerning jazz lover poring over liner notes, the store clerk sharing insider tips about a local artist poised for stardom. Every visit was an event, a shared anticipation to hear what was new, to linger in aisles fragrant with the scent of fresh vinyl, to be part of a community that found its voice not only in the music, but in the stories and debates sparked right there in the store. We've remembered how those shops shaped American culture, bridging city neighborhoods and small towns, nurturing future legends, and making room for genres that would soon echo around the world. The simple act of stepping into a listening booth, sliding on a set of headphones, and taking that first spinning tour through a crackling single, it was nothing short of magic. It let you dream for a few precious moments that the music was meant just for you. And yet the best part may have been how these stores created lasting connections, friends meeting up to flip through records, local musicians getting their very first break, and families bringing home songs that became the soundtrack for Sunday afternoons or summer nights. Even jukeboxes in nearby diners owed their playlists to the tastes and requests of these stores' loyal patrons. Anyone who ever bought a record in the 1950s became a part of that evolving tapestry, contributing a thread to what would become the golden age of music discovery. Looking back now, we see how those shops offered much more than merchandise. They offered a sense of belonging. Vinyl record stores taught us to appreciate the artistry of a great album cover, the anticipation of each needle drop, and the electric excitement of a new musical find. They remind us of a time when every note was shared. A favorite song buzzing from the shop speakers could spark a spontaneous conversation or turn a stranger into a lifelong friend. Standing amid the clatter of cash registers and constant chatter, we learned that music is more than background noise. It is the glue that binds us to our memories, our communities, and each other. What favorite memory do you hold from those golden days, stepping into your neighborhood record shop in search of a tune that would become a lifelong companion? Is it the first album you bought, the person who helped you find that hidden gem, or something as simple as an afternoon spent thumbing through stacks with a close friend? We'd love to hear your own vinyl stories. Share them in the comments below to help this community relive those unforgettable moments together. If this trip down memory lane struck a chord, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and invite a friend who'd appreciate a return to those days when music shops were the heart of the neighborhood. More nostalgic journeys are coming soon, celebrating the people, places, and sounds that helped shape who we are. Thanks for spinning back the years with us, because some memories, just like our favorite records, only get sweeter with every replay.